Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Kingdom Creatives podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Flavia Beswick, and I hope you've all been doing well. Now, today we have a guest, Clayon Salmon. I had mentioned it last week that I would bring him on, and thankfully, even though it's last minute, he agreed to join us. So, welcome, Clayon. Thank you for joining us tonight. Yes, it's night. You can hear my crickets.
Thank you for having me here. Thank you for deeming me, somebody worthy of being on your podcast.
All right. So I've never had this kind of discussion with you before, but I hope it goes as natural as possible.
Right?
But yeah, tell us about yourself.
About myself. I would consider myself a kingdom creative, like a podcast says. I'm a clown, musician, producer, engineer, husband, a humanitarian, Jamaican, but Christian, definitely apostolic. What else is there to know? I don't know.
So before I ask you about your musical journey, tell me, how did you end up becoming a Christian? Because I knew that you went to church when I was in Edna, yes, but you weren't like Christian until you migrated. So,
wow,
how did that happen?
Maybe they put something in the water over here, man. No, just kidding. Just kidding. So I grew up apostolic most of my life. I got baptized at the age of 9. I might have followed my late brother. So he went to get baptized and we both got baptized at the same time.
Yeah.
But at that very tender age of 9, I know that I want to be saved. I think I probably watched, because I'm up there in age. I think I probably watched Left Behind the movie, and I saw the whole thing. I was like, I don't want to be left behind. I want to be saved.
Yeah.
And I got baptized. But we went to church and Sunday school with my mom and stuff. And, I think most Jamaicans end up at church at some point in their life, though. You know what I mean?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, more at some point.
That's the starting point.
Right. So yeah, I started off there, and like you said, when you met me, I wasn't in church. Yeah, backslid, and I was still at church every Sunday, but I wasn't in church. I was just there gigging, playing, getting paid as a musician, and just doing my thing. But I always acknowledged God. I always know the power of God. I just had my own journey, my own path to tread, basically.
Yeah. By the way, guys, Clayon had locks.
Oh yeah, man. Man. I think when I cut them, they were like on my shoulder right here.
Oh yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
Well,
me too.
Well, I'll admit it looks good on you. God looks good on you, right? So
thank you.
I'm all for it. And I love what you've been doing with the music as it relates to being, as you say, a kingdom creative. So my question to you now, before I ask you about the kingdom part of it, how did you end up in music?
In music, I think it's inheritary. How you say the word? Inheritary.
Hereditary.
My dad. Yeah. Hereditary. Yeah, my dad. So my dad is a musician wannabe. As a matter of fact, if you tell him that he can't play, he probably get upset at you. He thinks he can play, so don't believe him. But he had an acoustic guitar growing up, and he used to hang out with a bunch of wannabe musicians too at the time. Bunch of old guys with the acoustic guitar. They used to meet up at our house on Sunday evenings and just eat and drink and just play music. And one of the person in that circle too is the now Minister Hubert Levy. Yeah, we used to, the families were like that back in the day. And they used to play music, and all my life, my mom especially always bought musical toys for us.
Yeah.
Whether it be a toy keyboard, a toy guitar, a toy recorder, whatever it is. She always bought like musical toys, and you know, that's how we grew into it.
But why a profession though? Why a profession?
Oh,
Because
that
you could have just loved music and just, you know, that's that. But why a
Alright.
profession?
I'm gonna say this, and in explaining this, kudos to persons like yourself who are music educators, because when I went to high school, San Diego High School, my alma mater, that's when I started learning music formally, you know, and all these music educators, they poured into me, and that side of me started developing, where I started reading music, being around other like-minded persons, fellow musicians, and we started just loving it. Now, when we got to, you know, when you get to like fifth form, you're about to graduate, and everybody's like, I'm going to college, I'm going to go do this, I'm going to go do that. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Honestly. I was like, I was leaving high school. I got a couple subjects, but I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. And I was playing at this church at the time, and this lady, she's like, have you ever thought about CPTC? I was like, what is that? She's like, it's a school that you can go and do your engineering, and you can do. But she said music. She didn't even know what it was. And she went and she got the brochure, and I started looking through it. I was like, I like this. By the way, I did music in CX. Okay. So, right. So I started getting familiar with the whole sequencing procedure, you know, recording and putting stuff together and stuff. And I liked it, but to do it as a career, again, I wasn't sure about it. I mean, I was like, it is what it is. But when I went to CPTC, I was like, I like this.
Yeah.
Mark you, I was playing keyboards, but CPTC was for more producing and sequencing and engineering. And I was like, I like this. And from there, never turned back.
That's good. I have a question. So you said that you started, so from there you decided that you were going to do it as a profession. Who are some of the people that you've worked with since starting that journey?
As an engineer, as a producer?
Musician.
Oh my God, it's so much, because now we're gonna look back from when I was outside the church and I was working with a bunch of secular artists. I've shared studio spaces with so many persons, and let me see, like Jamaica. There's so many persons. You're gonna have to edit this because I'm having a brain freeze.
I know. I saw something about Itana. What are some other people?
That was more on a performing. That was on a performing level. So on a student level, I've worked with persons like Christina Gadati, Dwight McKee, Born Again, Survivor the Gifted, who's now Sorry DVN, Radic.
I think the first song I heard you produce, I don't know. I'm hoping that is it, but it's the only one that really comes to mind. One day.
That's Dwight McKee.
Yeah.
I did something else prior to that though. I did Survivor the Gifted, Only True Friend. That was the first song I ever officially. No, it's not. I did a song with some old reggae ladies that never really went anywhere.
Oops.
Listen. So, no, let me give it this. This is a real story. So, I didn't have a studio, but I had my computer. And I had a friend who lived up the hill from me who had a studio. So they paid me to make the beat, and they went to his studio to voice the song. And I used the money from that and started buying more equipment.
Nice.
And that's how that started.
That's really
I started buying a whole bunch of studio equipment. Listen, don't get me started. Because I took my tuition fee from Edna Manley and bought equipment too.
That sounds like something I would do. Somebody just told me that my mother says that I spend money on the wrong things. If
which
I were
is,
to turn around the camera and show you the equipment that I have, of
listen,
course, as you know, you started off with something else because
right.
you saw the video, I was draping sheets over a portable closet.
Wow.
So
Listen,
I
I remember
mean,
your student booth. I remember your student booth. Definitely do.
yeah, someone was like, you're
So,
spending money on all of these things, but it has to be done, is what we
and
love.
and the more and the better equipment and gears you have, the better the quality
Mhm.
work that you produce. And
Definitely.
that's what a lot of persons wouldn't understand.
Yeah. So, question to you again. Was there anybody, apart from the person that told you to go to CPTC, do you have any role models? If so, who are they? Or if you don't have any, what motivates you?
I pull motivation from around me.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the driving force is my late brother. He was a musician too. He played the bass guitar.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, he really brought me into the playing of music. Besides, like the interest as a kid, he
Mm-hmm.
went and linked with some musicians that he knew from the community, and he wanted to play keyboard, but he sucked at it. And everything that they taught him, I would learn. And he got frustrated. He was like, you know what? Let me take on the bass guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And from then we've been playing together since. We're always in band, and he's in one school, I'm in one school. We play together for the same events.
Yeah.
And just having him around, he always motivates me and push me. And he'll give me some of the harshest hitting.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me.
Yeah.
Harshest. And everything I do going forward, I bear some of his words in mind, And I guess that's one of my main motivation behind, like, just keep going. Just keep going. Sometimes I beat myself down too when I don't achieve what I want to achieve. But it's like, in my mind, it's like, I know he'll be like, just do this.
Yeah. But I guess it's normal. It's normal for you, especially when you know what you're capable of. When it's not at the standard that you want it to be, it's normal to start beating up yourself. But as I say, the most important thing is to keep going. As recording, funny story. Yesterday, I actually did my first paid recording session. I feel so proud of myself. And it's like the lady, she was asking me, so if you hear anything that you want us to fix, just let me know. And I'm like, trust me, if I ever start nitpicking tonight, you're not going home.
Yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah. And that was one of my things too. I hated hearing myself on recordings.
Yeah.
I hated that.
I bet you're going to hate this when I post it. And so, oops, I probably shouldn't have said that. Oh well, you get over it. But that leads me to my next question. What are some of the challenges you face as a producer, whether it's with artists, musicians, or even just working on a session, mixing bodies of work? What are some of the challenges you face?
Some of the challenges I faced, like growing up in the slums where I come from in Central Village. We weren't in the hood. We weren't well off. We weren't at the bottom of the barrel, but we weren't well off, and we didn't have a lot to get the work done.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? We didn't have the best equipment, the best plug-in software, whatever it is. And besides the teaching that I got at CPTC, everything else was, hey, go figure it out.
Yeah.
So the challenges, some of the obvious challenges that I would face is, I don't know how to do what I want. I hear it. I know what I want. I don't know how to get it. So then YouTube becomes my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff like that, those kind of challenges, learning the language behind, the whole industry. When it comes on to working with people, artists, listen, some Jamaican artists have some of the biggest ego ever. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's a headache sometimes. But that's one aspect. That's one challenge. Finance, when it comes on to money, you're in it, you love it, but there's no income. Sometimes that's right, you can't sustain it. And it's just all these different things add together. But at the end of the day, the love for it kind of cuts through, and you keep doing it. But yeah, it's challenging. It really is challenging. Yeah. Insecurities with your work. Like I said before, you mix something and you hear somebody else's mix, or you listen to the reference track, it's like, dang,
yeah,
my stuff sucks. Like, oh, and worse, if somebody critique it, oh man, you'll be like, oh, you crushed inside. But at the end of the day, you really, like I said, you just have to just keep trying and keep trying.
Yeah, when you said that, me and I won't say I'm not hyperactive, but like my mind wanders a lot. So like a while ago, you were like, just keep trying. I remembered Finding Nemo with Dory. Anyway, let's get back. So while you were talking about the sustainability of it, something came to mind that I'm actually trying to figure out. I'm exploring right now, and it's scaling my business as a music educator to not just do voice lessons or not just do the recording sessions, but also do online courses, right? And not online courses where you have to schedule classes, but you record some snippets. Because I remember I was in this webinar once, and basically at the end of the webinar, they send you to this course that they've discounted, and in the course are like some 1 minute, 2 minute videos, and then some PDFs. And I'm like, but I could do this.
Yep.
So I'm just dropping this out there. It's kind of random, but I'm just dropping it out there for those creatives who would like to sustain your business. That's probably an avenue that you could think about, create some online courses, because people are always looking for knowledge. Always.
It is. And as I said, that there's something that I just not really just learned, but somebody said it so profound the other day. Mm-hmm. And some other guys that does the similar stuff that I follow, and they're talking about how to basically monetize like some of your gifts and talents, and it's like create like little sound packs, little instrumentals, little stuff like that. I'm like, and the person was saying basically, you don't have to be like anybody else's. It could be a particular area that you're focused in.
Yeah.
And it just went off in my brain. I'm like, yeah, that's it. Because at the end of the day, there's something about you that somebody else wants. I want to know. You gotta have something to offer. Like, you just have to.
I hope you actually took the advice too.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Hey, and that's the other flip side to being a creative person. Oh my God, we procrastinate so much. Look at you. You look guilty.
You look guilty. So bad.
Listen, so it gets to me. We procrastinate, especially if you're talented. Oh my God, you like, yeah, I got this. I'm gonna do this last, and then last minute people like you're scrambling over the whole place.
Yeah. And I think a part of it sometimes is not even. I mean, yeah, there's sometimes where you're like, oh, sure, that I'm gonna take too long. But I think there's the other aspect where there's so many ideas floating through your head, and you're like, how do I start? Like, which one though?
Wow.
And so like it kind of makes you stuck sometimes. For me, that's what happens sometimes. There's so many ideas floating around in my head, and I don't know which one to work with. as my
Mhm.
mother said, you don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none.
And myself, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it be like that sometimes.
trust me. Um, but definitely, work at it. I'm still trying to figure out this online thing. It's kind of challenging in Jamaica. For those of you who are listening who are from Jamaica and you want to scale a business and do like online courses, but you don't want to use PayPal, I'm still trying to figure it out so that I can access more money when I do these things. So when
Yeah.
I figure it out, I will let you know. I know Payoneer is a good place to start, but a lot of these course builders, they don't connect to Payoneer. They connect to Stripe and PayPal. So when I figure it out, I'll let you know.
And if
But
you're in America and in any of its territories and you use Cash App, well, just know that the what they call it, they coming for your taxes. They say they go start tax Cash App.
oh, no. Well, everything is taking taxes right now. Because even DistroKid, when I signed up with DistroKid, it wasn't taking taxes. By the way, those of you who are wondering what DistroKid is, it's a music distribution website. They weren't doing taxes, and now you have to sign up a tax form. So I guess everybody's doing the taxes thing,
Yep,
and I guess I understand it's necessary.
Uncle Sam getting there as well.
Yeah. So what would you say to somebody who wants to go into music or wants to be a producer, but they're feeling a little inadequate, whether it's limited resources or not enough support or just challenges overall? What would you say to that person?
I would say first you have to love it. You have to love it and want to do it. Because you see, when you love something, you'll do almost anything that you need to do to get to where you need to get to. So that's the first thing. You want to love it. Second, and I don't want to say God second, but at the end of the day, if you don't love something, there's no point of seeking God for direction in that area. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you have to have God involved in what you're gonna do. That's what I would tell somebody now. The younger me, I was just going. But me now, 30-year-old me now, I'll be like, yeah, seek God. Because sometimes you choose a career and it takes you away from God. You understand me? Your particular career choice can take you away from the presence of God. And I would say, seek God in whatever your decision is. But almost anything you're going to, you're gonna have some challenge. So you're gonna have to love it. You're gonna have to want to do it. For producing, you can always learn stuff online. You could go to school, whatever it is. You know, if you're cashy like that, you could go to school. But I'm telling you, there's almost everything. You can find like everything online these days. You know, just invest some time and learn your craft, study your craft, and just be creative.
And what's one thing, or you can name a couple of things, but what's one thing that you wish you would see more of in the music industry, whether internationally or locally, as in Jamaica?
I can't overstate this. Togetherness. Especially if you're in the same industry or same genre or whatever the case is. I wish people would understand that, you know, like we really need each other. And people, like, you can exist and I can exist and we can coexist, and you understand me? Especially for our music in Jamaica.
Yeah.
We see a lot of, and it happened in the gospel industry too, unfortunately. It happened. The fighting and the back talking and the bad business and the egoism and there's so much stuff that happens. I'm telling you, it's crazy. I wish people would just put all that to the side.
Yeah.
And just be creative. Use the gifts and the talent that God gives you to uplift your fellow brothers and sisters, the nation.
Sure.
That's and the other thing, like I said earlier, for like yourself as a music educator, you know, to like people need to give music educators more credit. because hadn't it been for a couple high school music teachers,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have been here.
Mm-hmm.
And people look at these like, oh yeah, I'm just going to music class. No,
Yeah.
you might become an next Bob Marley.
Yeah.
You understand me? Just by going to music class and falling in love with music.
Yeah.
People look at it as people don't. I think even as a culture, they don't take music and the arts seriously. It's like, oh, yeah, you like it, but what are you gonna really do with your life? You know, like it's not financial. It's not like a sound financial. You know.
Yeah. Like, is that a career though?
Yeah, people. And that's the other thing. Education is key because we see a lot of persons make millions of music and wonder how and you can break into a couple grand, literally. So I think those, more emphasis need to be placed on the arts and music, and the music educators like yourself, who people take for granted a lot of times. I remember tutors like teaching formal music and kids would just mock them. They would laugh at them. And I'm like, you have no respect for this person. You don't even know this person's like accolades.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know.
You know what's funny? I think it was last year, someone said to me, Flavia, when you first told me that you wanted to do music, I used to think that you were crazy, I was very skeptic. But now that your career took off, well,
wow,
guys, it's still in the process. But but it's like, now that your career took off, I'm happy for you. But and I said this because, as you said, it's kind of undervalued. But until we as musicians value ourselves, people won't see the value.
That's true.
We have to. It starts with us. We have to value ourselves, and sometimes that starts with. I don't want anybody. I feel like I'm gonna step on toes, but there are some phrases that I don't fancy, and I know it's because people don't see the value in music. So you go to an event or somebody call it for an event, and you give them the quote. You're like, well, it's going to cost me X and X amount of money. Cost you X and X amount of money, in order for me to come and do a 30-minute set. And they're like, so you can't put it down to like 5 or 10.
All right, cool. We can do that. I'm just gonna leave the drummer. I'm gonna leave the bassy. And we'll just rock out with just me and we're gonna leave the keyboard. We're just gonna leave a couple people, and we're gonna work with who you can actually play with that. Simple.
Yeah, because I mean, there are things that come with it, and I don't think people realize. For example, I play and sing. I play the guitar and I sing. My guitar strings will need tuning. Changing. Right now they want to change.
Wow.
You never know, you're on your way to an event and your vehicle breaks down. That happened to me the other day. I lost 2 tires, and you have to cover that.
Yeah, and I can imagine you lose picks too.
Well, gladly, it's probably not a good thing to say out loud, but I don't use picks a lot.
That's blasphemous. Don't say that.
Your
poor little finger them.
I grow my thumb nail.
Oh, cool. Alright, that can work.
It works for now. I'll work on it though. But I haven't been using much picks. I don't have that as an excuse. But there are lots of expenses that come with being a musician. So for those of you who are listening, just value yourself so people can value you. Because the same amount of money that they get to pay their bills, we have to pay bills too, don't it? Yeah.
As a producer, you're there working on somebody's soundtrack and it's multi tracks and whatnot, and then your computer just seizes up and crash. You gotta replace a whole whatever you just damaged in there for doing some type of low budget work or whatever the case is. It hectic. I'm telling you, it's only for the love of it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's only for the love of it, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not pay off. Like it come like worth it. Phase out when it comes to the income and stuff. But
the love of it.
It's a part of the game.
Yeah.
It's a part of the game. I love it. I wouldn't change anything.
I wouldn't either. I have another question here. I'm using a notepad. So what are some projects do you have any upcoming projects? I know currently, for those of you who don't know, just in case you didn't listen to the previous episode, Clayon and I just released a song, as in he produced it. He didn't sing on it, guys.
Yeah.
He produced it.
The golden voice.
But you know, and it's called Rags. Right now we have a Rags challenge going on over on Instagram. So if you want to be a part of it, you can just head over to my page, Flavia Beswick Music, and just download so the instrumental is on my page, but it's also on Clayon's website. Go ahead and tell us the website.
You can find that the track on licklemanproductions.com. That's LIKKLEMAN productions.com. So download the track. Vibe it. I'm loving the challenge, by the way. Listen, there you have some talented people like on it.
Going to choose.
I don't know, man. Hey, when they see this, they're gonna realize we're in trouble.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to just make an extended something. We're just gonna have to figure it out. But these songs, these lyricists, they're touching my heartstrings, man. I love them. I love them.
I didn't know it was going to go this good. Trust me. But yeah, you can go ahead and either go on my Instagram page, Flavia Beswick Music, and you can download it there, or you can go on Clayon's website. He also has some songs that he's produced. And how can people reach you if they want you to produce one of their songs?
You can hit me up in the DMs. That's where we're at now. Email team@licklemanproductions.com. Yeah, you can find me there also. Yeah. And you were asking about projects. Yeah, we got couple music out there right now, streaming. We got Decorate the King, sorry DVN. We have oh my god. We got Got Me Everything with GZP Rivera right now. She's over here in Delaware. That's a nice hot track. We got Rags right now that's burning up the whole place. Challenge on point. This song that I'm working on, I produced it for another label.
Mm-hmm.
That's Team BCA, but it's a Christmas song, you know. That's GZP Rivera featuring Chosen. Chosen. So that's coming like soon because Christmas is basically here. Like the song, you know, is titled. So we just got stuff going on right now, and I'm anticipating some of these persons who are on the Rags challenge right now, you know.
Hey, man.
I'm anticipating some. Honestly. I got a couple calls too. Right?
That's good.
Hey.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. I'm here for it all. I'm so happy that you're using your talent for the kingdom. You're now a kingdom creative. Woot.
Yeah, got to.
Definitely people check out his songs, the songs that he's produced. It's really good. And if you haven't heard Rags as yet, you can go ahead and stream it on Spotify or wherever you listen to your music. That's Rags by Flavia Beswick. And I know you like what you hear, so just in case you want to get a song produced, you can connect with Clayon. Thank you for joining us. I know we had an awkward pause in the middle, but it was a good discussion. Thank you for being our guest, and we look forward to having you again. Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
All right, and that's it for the Kingdom Creatives podcast, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you were blessed, and I hope you learned something. Have a great night or whenever you're listening to this, and stay safe. God bless you all. Bye.
You make a way, but have the final say.